Hey guys, today we're going to talk about deadlifts. Alright, we get a lot of problems with deadlifts. We see a lot of people end up hurting themselves or just doing deadlifts really wrong. So I have a kind of regression, if you will, of a deadlift. I know the big weights and make a lot of noise, sounds awesome and is fun, but until you get that proper form, you're never really going to be a really effective or safe deadlifter. So here we go. I have a little stepper here with a kettlebell. I think kettlebells are great to teach deadlifts with. Gets that client kind of that easier to grip and simulates that barbell. So with this box, what we're going to do is we're going to straddle it. So we're going to step in between, right? And that kettlebell is actually going to almost feel like it's behind us. It's going to be in line with our ankles, all right? So from here, everything kind of stays up. We really have to focus on hip hinging. So we have to have slight bend in that knee, hip hinge down, keeping my torso straight. And one mistake that we see is I'm not looking up. I don't do this. I keep my head in a neutral position. I want that spine to stay nice and neutral. All right, so I'm here, I hip hinge. And I think this is the other mistake that we make, is that when we reach down, we kind of roll out of this position. Now when we roll out of this position, we lose that kind of stability, that thoracic stability, so we start to compensate from that lower back, right? So we get a lot of kind of smoked lower back problems. So from here, we're going to come down, we're going to hip hinge down, and then we're going to bring our shoulders down and back. And one of the cues that I give my students is take my hand, picture my hands underneath your armpits, and you're squeezing those hands under your armpits. So we're here, I'm squeezing those hands underneath my armpits, and I'm going to lift up, right? And I'm keeping my arm, or keeping that hand, or fake hand I guess, squeezed underneath my armpit the whole time. And then as I come back, I'm actually not putting it down in front of me, I'm putting it down behind me, right? So that's another kind of regression, and that's kind of step one to make sure you get all that muscle activation. So then we can progress and bring that stepper a little bit lower. Again, it's going almost in line with my ankle bones. Chest stays high, shoulders down and back, head neutral, hip hinge down, grabbing that weight, squeezing that armpit underneath, or squeezing that hand underneath my armpit, and I'm going to drive up through my glutes, and on the very top, I'm going to give a little bit of a hip thrust. All right? I'm not overextending or hyperextension, extending. I'm coming up, a little bit of a hip thrust, and putting it back down behind me, right, or almost behind me. Try it out. I think that's a good regression and get that form down for you to do those big deadlifts that we'll talk about later on. We'll see you later.